All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you guys in the chat. It's a shame we didn't get to broadcast yesterday during the O'Reilly race. It was such a fantastic race. Hopefully this will be a good one. A little bit worried about the dirty air, but since Chicagoland is such a wide track, they should be able to pass unless we go high side dominant, and then it might be a little difficult to complete a pass, but looking forward to it. I'm wearing the red, white, and blue Bowman hat. I had a red, white, and blue Chase Elliott hat on standby, a red, white, and blue Gordon hat. You gotta have our nation's colors on just after the 250th anniversary celebration. Fun stuff. Let's go ahead and look at our lineup today before they get started. We still haven't gotten the command to fire the engines or anything like that, so we probably have 10, I would say at least 15 minutes till we go green. Might be more like 20. But Denny Hamlin once again on the pole. No shock there. Kyle Larson second. Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski. So we have some RFK speed up there. Actually, we don't often see Fords qualify this well, so maybe Buescher or Brad can get it done. I have a Brad red, white, and blue hat, so go grab that one. Then we have Gibbs and Bell. They both had a ton of speed lately. Briscoe usually doesn't qualify well, but he usually finishes relatively well, which is why he's up inside the top 10 in points. So to keep an eye on Briscoe. Bubba up there, another Toyota. Then we have Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Alex Bowman just outside the top 10. So we have one Hendrick car up towards the front, a few a little further back. So it seems like maybe the Hendrick guys are catching up somewhat, but not the level of performance that we are used to in previous years. But what remains to be seen, can their crew chiefs keep up with the car and make the right adjustments to get them up there to compete with a guy like Denny Hamlin, to compete with a, really any of the Toyotas or Kyle Larson. So, a lot of times this season, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, William Byron, they may start somewhere, they may gain a little bit, and then as the race progresses, the crew chiefs lose the handle on the car. So hopefully that's not an issue. Tyler Reddick actually starting a bit further back this week, 13th. Blaney, 14th. We have the Hurricane Hocevar, 15th. Zane Smith, he has had a lot of good speed recently. I wouldn't be shocked to see him get up there inside the top 5 at one point in the race. Chastain, Preece, Zillage, who's had a rough year, one of the hardest rookie years I've ever seen. Eric Jones, Austin Cindric, Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Ty Dillon, Corey Heim. Keep an eye on him throughout the race. I would not be shocked to see him work his way up at minimum inside the top 15. We'll have to see what kind of setup they have on that car. Todd Gilliland, Shane Van Gisbergen, Joey Logano, Noah Gragson, Cole Custer, Josh Berry, Austin Hill in the 33, JJ Yaley, Cody Ware, and Michael McDowell. So with Joey, that's surprising. It's been a really rough year for Joey. I'm kind of wanting him to turn it around now. And then another thing of note. What was it? Someone jumped out at me. Yeah, Suarez has had more speed this year than this. Usually we see him run inside the top 15. So he'll have to come from behind a bit there. Eric Jones a bit further back than they've been running recently. I don't know who it was. Someone jumped out at me, but I skipped right over him. I know Preece isn't with the rest of his teammates. He'll have to come from behind a bit. I don't know what it was. Maybe it'll come back to me, but good to see you guys. Let's check out what the chat's talking about. Show the cars. Show the car. Desmond, I cannot show the cars. I have a way that you can see the cars if you would ask. Follow the instructions that are about to be posted in the chat, and that's a way that you can see the cars. If I was to do that, if I was to show the cars, NASCAR and YouTube would take down my channel in 10 minutes. This is a channel we've had for over 15 years now. I'm not going to throw it away broadcasting a copyrighted product that TNT has paid millions of dollars to broadcast. Yeah, Desmond, if you see that in the chat, posted by Stream Elements, just click on schedule at the top of the page. Click that link. You'll be able to see the race. Let me test that out just to make sure that it's still working this week. It's a great way to watch the races. The old website got taken down, but this one has been working really well. And yeah, it's spot on right now. So I hope you guys are able to watch the race through that link and hopefully enjoy it. I think it'll be a good one. I'm not sure if it'll be as good as last night. The O'Reilly Series always puts on a really good show, but you know, we'll stay optimistic here. A lot of red, white, and blue cars in the field, so it'll be difficult for the spotters. It'll be difficult for the announcers to keep up with who is who, but we'll do our best. We had a pretty good day yesterday. Pretty good day. I watched the tall ships as they sailed into New York City. There were a lot of flyovers of a lot of different military aircraft. That was cool. And then I watched Independence Day, you know, the Will Smith alien invasion movie, because that is the reason why we celebrate, right? And then after that, I went to a baseball game, and saw a fireworks display. And because the O'Reilly race was delayed so long, instead of being able to watch the first half, I was able to watch the second half. So it worked out kind of in my favor, which I had the race on the whole time on my phone. I was keeping an eye on it. It was a good race. A lot of tire failures, which has me a little worried about today. I'm not sure what we're going to see here. And another thing we have to worry about is the weather. There's a few passing showers in the area. Not too concerned yet. I don't know where with them. Looking for the USB cable that connects to my pedals. We'll take a look at the radar in a second, see if there's anything we need to worry about. Stream. Links. Radar. All right. So this is a look at our radar. I can probably just search Chicagoland Speedway. A lot of the older NASCAR tracks are on here already. There we go. So nothing there yet. There's a few spotted showers behind. I don't think any of these would rain the race out, but we might get a delay here at some point. Hopefully not. Some weird movement here. It's not a traditional east, northeast kind of moving system. We actually have some movement to the south here. So I don't know. We could get a pop-up shower at any time, it seems like, but for now, pretty clear. But we're just going to keep an eye on the weather throughout the race. I'll be watching that, and if I see anything, I'll let you guys know. But, you know, we've seen it in the past. Sometimes the weather makes the racing better. Grip might be up, but also guys pushing to try to be in the lead in case we do fall under a rain delay. Don't know what could happen here. King says he's very optimistic that today will be a great race. That's good. That's good to hear. Good to see you, King. Let's see what else we can see. Let me pull up Mr. Matthews CFB. don't know if he will be posting highlights today. So let me go ahead and get TNT pulled up as well. Great pre-race coverage of the race. TNT's kind of carried that over from the Prime coverage. A lot of the people on the Prime team are here as well. But I think TNT heard the displeasure last year around their coverage, and they've really stepped it up this year, which that's been great to see. Yeah, it's great. Good to see you, Rusty. I wanted to go live last night, but I didn't get home from the ball game early enough. A few of the innings went pretty long, but also they actually got the race restarted. I wanted to broadcast the first half, then I was going to go to the ball game, but the race got rain delayed, and I didn't make it back in time. I had a thumbnail made and everything. Good command. Good command there. Rusty said he watched Claypool's race coverage last night. It was something else. Did he do race coverage, or was he... I saw he said he was going to do a drinking stream and played the Daytona arcade game. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch it, obviously, because we stream every race. But I've seen that he's doing race watch-alongs now, which is a fun way to stay connected with the community. Thank you, Tony Cornflakes. Thank you. We have another member of our community here, Tony Cornflakes. Welcome. All right, let's look at the eero 400. That's a sponsor of today's stream. I believe they make like Wi-Fi and internet equipment. The purse for today's race, $11.2 million. Let's see if we have an estimated fuel window. I do not see one. Engines fired. So we might be green flag racing in 10 minutes or so. Exciting. Back at Chicagoland. Chicagoland says tonight's race is sold out. I don't know if that's true. Might have had a big walk-up crowd. I'm going to go to their tickets page. Chicagoland, the website's already announcing 2027 tickets, so I believe that's confirming Chicagoland's coming back next year. I don't think that's officially been confirmed yet. You know, we don't have a schedule for next year yet. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's not many tickets available at all. Show you guys the track map real quick to see what kind of a crowd we're looking at. I don't know what it'll actually look like in person, but before this weekend, there were a lot of seats still available, and now they're only showing 2 tickets in this section and 8 tickets in this section. Let's drop it down to 1 ticket and see if we... 3 solo tickets available in this section. That is wild. Yeah. And these are all resale tickets. Let's go back to 2. Verified resale. Yeah, so I guess it was a sellout. Some of these might have been flipped, you know, by scalpers, but still. Looks like the crowd showed up, thank goodness. For years, people asked for Chicagoland back, and they've definitely come out to support today's race. That's awesome. Desmond says 48, please don't let me down. We got it right here. Got our Bowman hat on. I have multiple red, white, and blue hats to my right. And at the last second, I was like, I got to put the Bowman hat on. He's the defending race winner. He's the one that I would be the happiest to see out of these guys. Your pick is either Denny or Byron. We'll see. I haven't really been impressed by that 24 team lately. They haven't been running like they were last year. Not yet. You know, we have these two Fords up here. They are kind of the wild cards right now. Buescher and Keselowski. Like, do they actually have speed, or is that just qualifying pace? They could really throw a wrench into this. Beautiful day there at the track. Kyle Larson in his red, white, and blue scheme. It's a good-looking car. Chase Elliott and William Byron also in patriotic schemes. Host of ours also in a partially red, white, and blue car, highlighted with the Ziegler yellow colors. I believe that's Briscoe as well in some red, white, and blue. We've had a lot of patriotic races this year. We had the Memorial Day race, the Coke 600. We had the Naval Base race, and now we have the 4th of July weekend race. So plenty of opportunities this year for teams to run a patriotic sponsor. Doodlebug, really good to see you. Don't forget to check in on the NASCAR Fan Rewards program. That's the message from King. So if you guys don't know, the NASCAR Fan Rewards program is a free program to join from NASCAR. You can sign up on their website or on the app, and you just check in each race. You just go to the app or the website, you hit a button. That's all you need to do. There are other ways to get points, but anyway, free to join, free to be a part of. You earn points throughout the year, and you can redeem it for free race tickets, for merchandise, for autograph stuff, for diecast. It's for gift cards. It's a really good program to be a part of. And if you're going to tune into the races every week, you might as well be a part of it. Let's look at our in-season challenge bracket here. So round 2, we have Cindric versus Bowman. I want to pick Bowman for that one, but with how Blake Harris has managed this season, I don't know how it will go. But we know Bowman knows his way around this place. We have Hocevar versus Todd Gilliland. You know, I would think Hocevar would have the edge there. Gibbs and Briscoe could be close towards the end of the race. Gibbs has a lot of speed. Probably won't be too long before he's back in victory lane. He's up there every week. But Briscoe has good finishes. They're starting near each other. So that'll be a close battle between teammates. We have Chase Elliott versus McDowell. Unless Chase has issues, he will probably get that taken care of. Blaney and SVG, again, same as the Chase and McDowell deal. Ryan will probably take that one. Larson and Byron. That one might be close, but Larson has the edge in my mind. Buescher and Bell. It could be a close fight. They're close in starting position. Thank you for whoever just subbed. I didn't see who it was. If you guys know their name, you can type it in chat. I can thank them personally. And then we have Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones. I don't think that one will be as close. If Eric's able to move up and run as well as he has been, and Denny's not up there contending for the win, that could be a really close fight. But it's a lot of could and will. But at the moment, I would give Denny the edge in that fight. That's a look at our round of 2 in the in-season challenge. Southern 500 in September. That's right. That's right. Another crown jewel, or what some people consider a crown jewel. Frank, well, thank you, Frank, for subscribing. Glad to have you guys here. We go live every week for these races. For the O'Reilly races, for the truck races, sometimes for IndyCar. I missed the IndyCar race this morning. All right, cars on track. Should be going green here within a lap or two. Let me get my notepad pulled open. All right, I have my notes pulled up. So for those of you that are new here, after the race, we will be going live with our post-race coverage. So, as you can see here. So that should be fun. Looking forward to it. Junior kills me. Every time he says Toyota, it's always Toyota. All right, lights are out on the Camry pace car. That was an interesting communication there from Cliff Daniels. They just talked about the sellout crowd on the broadcast. All right, here we go. Coming to the restart line. And green flag. Denny Hamlin going to get a little jump here on the start. That will allow Larson to run whatever line he wants here. No one who was inside. They're both going to dive it down to the inside on this first lap. So Denny Hamlin to the lead. Oh no, we already have two cars around. That's Ryan Preece is one of them. He has some tires down. And Connor Zillage. Once again, Connor Zillage, disaster on lap 1. Zillage is so mad. Oh my goodness, I feel terrible for him. So Zillage out of yesterday's race, or taken out of yesterday's race with tire issues, and today on lap 1. Connor Zillage, again, worst rookie season I've ever seen. For a guy who had such high expectations, I thought he would win a race this year, maybe multiple. I think Connor said Preece spun into him. So Preece kind of got turned there. A lot of guys stacked up. And Connor was just taken out. Just bad luck there for Zillage. Preece will continue. He does have a tire down there, so he will have to limp it around the track back to pit road. So he'll be starting from the rear on this next restart. So a few guys stacked up. Preece got spun around and spun down the track right in front of Zillage. And Zillage got the worst of it. Zillage ended up collecting the inside wall, trying to avoid Preece. So as soon as we get a replay of that, we'll get it pulled up for you guys. Eric Jones ran over Priest. Priest backed out of it when they stacked up in front of him, and Jones ran him over. Disappointing there, but it happens. Just a racing deal. I wouldn't blame that on Eric Jones. You know, you can't see when the field stacks up in front of you that quickly. All right, we do have a replay already. There's a look at lap 1, courtesy of Mr. Matthew CFB. So Denny Hamlin with a huge jump on the start of the race. Larson able to jump down to the inside line to follow and look further back. That's Priest around and Zilic to the inside wall. Just a horrible break for Zilic. So, with those flat tires, Priest was not able to make it back to pit road. That's one of the problems with this Gen 7 car. Flat tire can ruin your day, even if you escape without damage. So Priest will at least go down a few laps here. So, you know, he will be able to continue. But unless we get a lot of cautions, I don't see Priest making his way back into this thing. So he will no longer be in contention for the win. But who knows? We could see a bunch of cautions. They were 4 and 5 wide there, it seemed like. Yeah, definitely 4 wide. So let's zoom in here a bit and keep an eye on what's going on here. I believe this is Eric Jones right above my head. Priest in front of him. And then I think Priest is off the back of one of the colleague guys, maybe. And they stack up here. Priest backs out of it. And Eric Jones just runs through Priest. Sends him down the track. You see it here. Oh. So whoever Priest was following got crowded up the track by this orange car. I don't know if that's Chastain. I'm not sure who that is. But they get crowded up the track. Potentially make contact with the wall. Priest backs out of it. And Eric Jones, you know, no time to make any adjustments. No time to check up himself. Gets into Priest and sends him around. And Zilic tries to avoid down the track and into the inside wall. So their days probably aren't over, but they are definitely out of contention for the win at this point. Double A says 43 spun presets, right? Yeah, what a hard rookie. I feel terrible for him. It's every week. And it's not just the Cup Series. You know, you see him drop back down to the Xfinity Series in Junior Motorsports Equipment. And the guy who won, what, 11 races last year, you expect him to hop back in and win another one. And he's wrecking out of those races too. Or he's just not competitive. You know, running around 10th place in the Xfinity Series, like... You know, I'm sure he has a ton of talent. Number one, I don't think the car suits him. Number two, Chevy is down as a whole. Number three, Trackhouse is down compared to what they were a few years ago. But at this point, I think partially it's his confidence. Once your confidence gets shot, you're already down on yourself. I think that takes a toll on your driving ability. That's kind of happened with Larson. Since the double last year, he's had a rough time and hasn't been able to break back through to victory lane. And it's not like he's running bad, but he's not running like his previous standard was. Didn't Jeff Gordon have a rough rookie year? I wouldn't draw a direct comparison to Gordon's rookie year, just because Gordon didn't come in after setting a record amount of wins in the Busch Series. If he had done something like that, then yeah. I think that it just scales differently because there were such high expectations because of what Zilich had done on track. I do have Gordon's Baby Ruth card. I don't believe I have it in here. I can go grab it. It's a big one. I have a 1/18th scale of that #1 Baby Ruth car. Which Gordon had a choice that season. He had a choice to go to either Bill Davis Racing and build something from the ground up, or go with Rick Hendrick and have all the money in the world poured into his career. And, you know, we don't know what would have happened if he had went with Bill Davis, but I think he made the right choice. Yeah, I can show you guys the comparison between a 1/18th and a 1/24. So this is Dale Jr.'s patriotic scheme, Budweiser scheme. That's a 1/24th. Next to it's a 1/18th scale. Much bigger. Let me back this up. There's definitely a scale difference. 1/24th versus 1/18. So Larson to the lead this time. Buescher into second place. McDowell serving his penalty here. All right, so Hamlin back to third. Byron up to fourth. Now trading positions with Bell. Bell and Byron, I've compared them multiple times this season. I think they've run a very similar type of year. Both could be, you know, multiple-time winners. They could be championship contenders and then just haven't performed this year up to their standard. Reddick's already up to 7th. He's moving through the field. Blaney's moving up quite a bit, up to 8th currently. Chase Elliott up a few spots to 9th, or up, I think, maybe one spot to 9th. I can't remember where he started. It was somewhere around there, around 9th. But anyway, Briscoe up a little bit as well. So Byron already up to the high side, not against the wall, but he's definitely up in the third groove. Reddick down to the inside currently. Kind of the opposite of how they would normally run. Reddick usually really favors that high side. Bell's also up the track. Wallace was kind of in the second groove there. And now they have switched. Reddick to the high side and Byron to the low side. It was Ross in that last incident. Yes, we are back at Chicagoland, and it is living up to the hype right now. Larson not able to pull away from Buescher. Buescher staying really close, just a 10th back. Bowman's dropped back a bit since the start, though. Bowman is not good on restarts. He just isn't. He may lose spots on pit road, then he'll lose spots on the restart, and then he has to spin the rest of the stage trying to get the positions back. Right now, free falling back. Eric Jones, though, moving up through the running order. Running really close there with Allmendinger. Hamlin pressuring Buescher, but Buescher is still just a 10.5 to 2/10 behind Larson. Really close between these top three. Then there's a bit of a gap back, a half a second back to Bell. Then another half a second back to Wallace. It's good to see all three manufacturers up there. I'm tired of seeing the Toyotas dominate, which, I mean, they're still doing really well today. But good to see a mix up at the very front. Bowman. Bowman was the previous race winner, contributing to his track-killing legacy or his track-killing tendency. So whenever Bowman wins somewhere, I think he was also the last winner at Auto Club. But now we're back, so the legacy is no longer true. Oh, Busch won the last race? That's right, that's right. His burnout marks are still in the front stretch. Rain's holding off, but there are several pop-up showers in the vicinity. Keeping an eye on the radar. Let's go back through the field. So Priest did get back out on track, 5 laps down. That's not really easily surmountable, especially if we're not going to get multiple cautions like we have in the past. McDowell's also about to go down a lap here, and so that would trap Priest down a lap. He will not be eligible for the free pass here shortly. I'm not really making up ground. Cindric stuck back here. Suarez is moving up a little bit. Eric Jones making progress. Bowman fell back a bit on those 2 first restarts. Not lighting the world on fire. Hocevar moving up. Brad dropping quite a bit. His teammate Buescher stayed up there. Brad dropping back. All right, Denny Hamlin back to the lead. The Toyota speed on 1.5 is unmatched still. The guy with a broken wrist up here in 4th place. Crazy. Riley Herbst moving up a little bit as well. He didn't qualify very well. Zane Smith up a few spots. Hamlin already gapping Larson here. The gap's at 0.8 right now already. Well, here in stage 1, Denny Hamlin currently class of the field. It remains to be seen if these guys at the front of the pack will keep up with the track. The beauty of having these late evening races is the track will change substantially throughout the night. The track will widen out as more guys venture up to the high side. The track will cool. That will change the balance on these cars. So we might see some comers and goers here. Another great thing about Chicagoland coming back is it's another oval that we will have on NASCAR 26. Chicagoland will be back. Bowman finally making the pass on AJ Allmendinger. So move Alex Bowman up to 16th. Taking 16th from the 16. I wouldn't be shocked to see Eric Jones follow him through the pack here. Allmendinger was a hard pass. He held off Eric Jones and held off Bowman there for a long time. You can see that change reflected there on our leaderboard now. Herbst is really moving up. You know, he has that Toyota pace. It's no surprise. He's battling with Hocevar right now for 13th. They're both a second behind Brad Keselowski, so they'll have to settle that between themselves. Bell to the inside of Buescher. Buescher dropping back a bit here. Is Bowman doing good? Desmond, I don't know if you saw the message I posted earlier in the chat, but you need to see the race. You should check that out. But Bowman lost some positions on the first two restarts. Fell back from his 12th place starting position. And he's slowly working his way back up. He just got around AJ Allmendinger for 16th. And right now he's working on Zane Smith. And Bubba Wallace not too far behind Buescher in that purple and yellow Space Jam car. All right, Bowman all over the back of Zane Smith. He may have already made the pass. He has. Bowman up to, I think, 14th now. He gained a couple spots there. I think he also got around Hocevar. Herbst may have gotten by Hocevar as well. Have to wait for the leaderboard to update one more time. I think there was just a group of cars there that slowed each other up and allowed Bowman to make up a lot of ground very quickly. And Eric Jones was able to get by AJ Allmendinger there at the front of the, or not the front of the pack, but in the mid pack. Yeah, Hocevar did drop back. So Bowman was able to get by Hocevar and Zane Smith. Riley Herbst up to 13th now. And Bowman is only 3/10 now behind Riley Herbst. So Bowman might be able to pick one more off here. Denny Hamlin right now is a 2.5 second lead over second place Kyle Larson. Even though that last lap, Kyle Larson was quicker. Not sure if he'll be able to do that consistently or if Denny is just saving or trying a different line out. Right now, Kyle Larson might have our Xfinity fastest lap. He's at 30.5 right now. I think the next best might be Byron at a 36. Ryan Preece scored 4 laps down now. Preece is, not Preece, but McDowell is about to go down a lap if he already hasn't. He's running a 31.8. That's not a bad lap time. I'm guessing he did already lap McDowell and just hasn't reflected here yet. Double A says all his fantasy drivers are in the top 10. Not bad, not bad. I once again did not set up a fantasy team for this week. I should just go ahead and do that because there's, 10 races left in the regular season, so I have 10 races left to use up all the best drivers because you get extra uses just for the chase, or at least that's how they did it for the playoffs. I like that Space Jam car. Some people do. Oh, caution is out. Problems for Zane Smith here. He's still making time. I'm not sure. Okay, maybe he backed it into the outside wall there. I see some damage to the right rear. So maybe backwards at one point and against the outside wall, but he's still making time. No tires down. Not going to lose a lap here. That's good for Zane Smith. Maybe they can adjust and make another run at it. They've had so much pace recently. They qualified decently, but it seems like they just lost the handle about 20 laps into the race. Ooh, Chastain might have turned him. Wait. What happened? Oh, that's not Chastain. That was, I think Gilliland maybe trying to take out Hocevar. Or no, I have that backwards. I don't know who. They're both driving yellow cars. This is very confusing. I texted him a bit earlier. I texted Jason. To me, it looked like Smith got it in the back of Hocevar, and they both kind of lost it. No major damage there. So no harm, no foul. It wasn't really egregious. But man, that was extremely confusing trying to watch the replay. Two yellow cars trying to spin each other. And then they showed the onboard, like that would really help us. All right, as soon as we get a replay, I'll get that pulled up for you guys. I thought I saw Chastain there. That orange car kind of looks similar. And I wasn't going to be shocked that Hocevar and Chastain had tangled, but Zane Smith, I mean, Hocevar, I don't know what he did to warrant that reaction, but my goodness. No replay yet. Larson with a 9.4 on the pit stop. Pretty good so far. Oh, but Denny's going to beat him off pit road. So Denny keeping the lead. Kyle Larson second off pit road. Then we have Bell, Byron. Byron up 3. Busher down 1. Briscoe up 3. Wallace down 2. Reddick down 2. And Chase Elliott up 1. So we do have some movement on pit road there. All right, let me go back to TNT and see if they have a replay up. No, nothing yet. So Zane, Hocevar. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happened to warrant that. Maybe Zane's just tired with Hocevar's driving in general, or maybe something happened on the laps leading up to this. Because, I mean, Zane Smith isn't really a guy that's going to take you out. We usually don't see Zane Smith involve himself in a lot of people's business. So I have to figure something led up to this. Unless, I mean, I highly doubt this was a mistake. It looks pretty intentional. I have the replay. Let's go ahead and pull that up for you guys. I need to move my pedals closer. So let's zoom in on that. So there's the orange cars. Okay, it's not Chastain. From this angle, this car looks pretty orange. This looks like it was Chastain when I first saw the replay. But Hocevar up against the outside wall. Not too bad there. I don't know how much damage he has to that right rear. But it seemed like they were both able to continue. Let's back it up here and see what we can see. They've already made contact there. So Zane Smith tried to take him out here and ended up also getting into the wall. You know, you have to take out your competitor without taking yourself out of the equation. Pretty hard contact to the right side there for Hocevar. That's a really good angle on board here with, I think, Cendric in that PPG paint scheme. Zane just kind of followed him down the track. I'm not really sure what he was hoping for there, but that did not work very well. The Danica playbook, for sure, Rusty. The name Dana White has been around for so long. You thought he was like 80 years old, especially because he was associated with NASCAR teams in the early 2000s. Yeah, Dana White's just always been around. His dad's name is Dana White. His kid's name is Dana White. Dana White will live on forever. I'm about to sneeze, but we're not going to do that. Good to see you, Jason. Good to see you. Went to his buddy's wrestling show and worked for security for it, and he was involved in the main event. Did you interfere, Jason? Did you interfere and cost someone the win? That sounds like a good time, though, Jason. Glad to hear you had a good time. Hope all you guys had a good Independence Day weekend. I'm glad the Founding Fathers decided to make July 4th Independence Day, because they knew 250 years in the future, it would fall on a Saturday. And what a Saturday it was. All right, Larson back to the lead on the restart. Hamlin way up the track. Byron's kind of pinned in here, nowhere to go. Hamlin's going to stay to the inside here and follow along in the tire tracks of Kyle Larson. So Byron sliding into third here. Wallace fourth. I don't know what lap that last incident was. It was lap 31. Yeah, here comes William Byron. I'll have to go grab a different hat. Bowman back to 16th. Shuffled there a bit. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Not making up ground on pit road. Losing time on the restarts. Every week, this is what we see. My dog is snoring really hard. All right, Larson to the lead here. Byron 3/10 back. Reddick's now up to 6th. So both of the main 2311 guys are up in the running. Herp's not too much further back. Cindric's made up a ton of ground. That is impressive. And Jones was able to get past Bowman there. Blaney lost some ground there. He was running in the top 10. Now he's back to 14th. SVG running, or he's battling here for 29th. SVG's not going to make the chase. He's not going to make it. At Clayville, he was having a good time. He was having a good time from what I've seen and from what I've heard. Oh, nice. A steel cage match. That is awesome. All of them inside a steel cage. It's a steel cage show. That's really, really neat. Glad Reddick ditched that ugly purple paint scheme. That one was pretty bad. The pinkish purple. It just didn't look good. You haven't seen anyone beside Hamlin or Larson winning this race. We don't know yet. You know, it's too early to call. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on those two because this track is going to change pretty radically as we go into the nighttime portion of this race or the later evening portion. And who knows, we might see something really stupid happen on one of these restarts. Oh no! Austin Hill has crushed the outside wall. Their day might be over. He backed it into the fence pretty hard. All right. Sounds like Austin Hill maybe thinks somebody took him out. Well, you know, hate it for Richard, but Austin Hill, looks like his day is done. And that's directly going to benefit Ryan Preece. Preece is going to get a lap back here. Now he will be 3 laps down. Seems like Larson still has our fastest lap, but Byron's not too far behind. Seems like they have fire-off speed, but Denny might still be the best long-run car, mid to long. Bowman really needed that run to go long. I think he has a better handling car than a few of the guys in front of him on the long run, and it just hasn't played out in his favor. Well, SVG took him out. Thank goodness they weakened the rear of these cars, or Austin Hill would have snapped his neck there. You had a 6-man tag. One of the baby faces got handcuffed to the bottom ring rope. That's crazy, Jason. All right, they're coming back down pit road. And maybe Bowman can make up some ground here. I just made my notes about the last caution, and then we had one on lap 48. Someone's spawned on pit road. Todd Gilliland around backwards in his box or in someone else's box. I'm not sure who it is. He's just kind of sitting there. All right, Todd's going to lose a ton of positions there. My goodness. So Gilliland there got clipped on pit road by Bell. That sounds good, Jason. SVG's like, oh yeah, you think I'm not going to make the chase? Just going to wreck his way into the chase. Now, at this rate, if he keeps running back here around 30th, he does not have a shot to make the chase. I mean, it might be 2 more weeks and he'll be out if he's lucky enough to make it 2 weeks. that You're probably exactly right, Darkside. I bet it was a little bit of retaliation there. That's hilarious. Hilarious. Get it? Let's go back and look at that replay. I don't know if we ever got one for that. Yeah. Let me refresh here. So here we go. So off the nose of SVG. And thank goodness they've softened the rear end of these Gen 7 cars, because Austin Hill backs it in really hard here. That would have been a multi-week concussion at the minimum if this was the original Gen 7. Really hard hit there. Just flattened the rear end of that car. Are you trying to find a new league? You're too good. Too good. Disappointing end to the day for that Zone 33 car. Mr. Spaceman, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I've seen you've been playing some NASCAR Inside Line. That game still looks pretty good. That game still looks pretty good. The only thing that's a bit off is the lighting. I think that, you know, you changed the lighting a bit on that game, and you could show someone it, they would probably believe you that it's a game that came out last year. Oh, that's wild, Darkside. That's actually wild. Welcome back, Jason. Welcome back. Hill called him Van Guggenheimer. Okay. Van Guggenheimer. That's pretty neat. I like the outdoor setup. You know, a lot of times you see local wrestling promotions do it in like gymnasiums and stuff. That's neat doing it outside, especially on the 4th of July. Show you guys this real quick. In the steel cage. Not bad. We have an action shot of Jason there, just standing by, ready to go. Not bad. On the football field, too. That's pretty sick. I like the setup. Good to see the crowd show up for a local promotion. All right. On the restart, Cindric up front. A lot of guys staying out here. Let's see if these two Penske guys can lead some laps. Briscoe's already challenging, though. Briscoe's going to lose a ton of ground here. Lost the momentum. Losing that clean air to the nose. So Briscoe able to get by Logano now. One car remains. How long can Cindric outrun Briscoe? Pretty clean restart. Still have a few guys fighting side by side, 3 wide. All right, Byron trying to pass here on Logano. Larson's going to follow Byron through. Herb stopped the track pretty heavily there. Larson not able to clear Logano there on exit. I think he will clear on entry to 3 there. Biggest mover since restart. Larson up 9. Wallace up 9. Gregson up 7. You still say WWE should hold an event on 4th of July? I think they should lean harder into the theming of each PLE. Nowadays, it's just like they end storylines, or they make like storylines, like the big plot point in the storyline happen at the PLEs. They need to go back to Survivor Series being brand versus brand and doing things like that. You know, actually having Night of Champions be the champions facing off, and like, I think there's a lot more they could do there to make each PLE feel different. One picture you a lot closer and better. The picture of yours truly. And the WCWO wrestling's been around since 93. 93 started in Greensburg, Indiana. And in 97 moved to Indianapolis. Jason says WWE storytelling's garbage compared to AEW. It's definitely different than it used to be. I know my buddy and his kids have stopped watching over the last year. I can't believe they put the belt on Sami Zayn. Cindric's still out front, though, able to hold off Briscoe. Look at that, Byron and Bell hanging together. 4 red, white, and blue cars, nose to tail. Cindric with clean air. Doing pretty well right now. Joey's getting torn up here. Just free falling through the field. Junior here was talking about Busher passing his way back up through the field. About 4/10 off of Herbst. And Byron on the inside going for the pass on Briscoe. Briscoe a little loose through the corner. So Byron into second place. Can Byron do anything with Briscoe? Captain clean air. It's all right, Jason. Yeah, I don't know how I did that. I had my dog's allergy medication in my hand. And I guess I was either looking at the TV or talking to my wife. I was doing something else. And I just instinctively popped it in my mouth and swallowed. And that, yeah. Right before our race, Friday. I felt horrible. I hate Benadryl. All right, Larson has gotten by Briscoe. Briscoe's car has fallen off a bit here. Amir, you know what I was talking about. You know what I was talking about. Still waiting on the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports? Yes. That's basically what the rest of my July will be, is just waiting on Black Ops 1 to drop. Bubba Wallace trying to make the pass on Bell here. They're side by side. Bubba's going to get a little bit of a side draft going into 3. Bubba's clear right now. He will complete that pass. So move Wallace into 5th, I believe. While we're under commercial here, let's go ahead and look back through the pack and see what we can see. Priest only 3 laps down now. With the stage break coming up here in 21 laps, Priest might get another one back if JJ can, if he just can hold off going a lap down. Priest will get another lap back. Shane Smith not recovering well after taking himself out of the race. SVG still back here after taking Hill out of the race. Suarez not doing too hot today. Blaney a bit further back than he was previously. Bowman moving up to 19th. Only a little bit behind a nest of cars. Maybe Bowman can move up a bit. Oh, 10 to go in stage 1. So yeah, JJ might be able to stay on the lead lap for 10 more laps. He's running at 32.6. That's close. Yeah, they might run him down here. Byron with the lead. Larson's now in second. I don't know if Byron will be able to hold off Larson for 10 laps. Now 9. Still a lot of Toyotas up here. Cindric's up here just due to the strategy, but it's working out well for him so far. Then we have Toyota, 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 Toyota. One Ford, Toyota, 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 Chevy, Toyota. Yikes. Corey Heim not really making a lot of ground today. I thought he might move up through the field. Hasn't worked so far. Larson's close. I think he's going to get him here shortly. Bubba Wallace battling for 4th here. Briscoe to his outside. Bubba is clear, so move Bubba Wallace into 4th place. Briscoe back to 5th. Cindric still has about a second advantage on Bubba, so it's down to 6/10 now. I don't know. Bubba might run him down here. Cindric on older tires. Just trying to hold some track position. All right, Larson falling off a little bit there. Probably got into some dirty air. I would be shocked to see him battle back here. Still plenty of time left in the stage to get up there and take the lead. All right, Hamlin back inside the top 10. Reddick really backed out of the throttle there, not able to make up time on the high side. Bowman up to 18th, half a second back from Barry. Not sure if he'll get there now, 4/10 back. Every pit cycle, Bowman falls back a bit more. All right, interesting. G Danger says, at this point, don't care about wins anymore. Just want him to keep the points lead. And get the points lead back. Yeah. It's a close battle. It might take a couple more wins to get the lead back from Denny. He leads him by 1 point, or 1 point going into today's race, and now he's gained another point if he finishes ahead of him in this stage. Now 2 points ahead. The gap will be 3 points potentially. I had to change out the battery in my headset. Danhausen might actually be supernatural. Very effective curses. Brad up to 11th. He slid back early in this race. Chase not really able to make up much ground either. Bowman might get by Dillon here. Looks like Barry was able to get by Dillon. That held them both up and brought Bowman into the equation. Oh, no, Bowman's gotten by all of them just in a couple laps. So move Elliott up to 15th and Bowman up to 16th. Just a nest of cars there. So Bowman is about 2.5 tenths behind his teammate Chase Elliott. So you have two Hendrick cars fighting for 15th place right here. And coming to the line, William Byron will take it. Larson second place. Wallace fourth, Cindric fifth. Or no, Wallace third. Cindric fourth. Briscoe fifth. Busher sixth. Seventh, Herbst. Eighth, Hamlin. Ninth, Gibbs. And 10th, Tyler Reddick. A lot of Toyotas up there at the front of the field. I mean, this can't be ignored. Sure, we do have two Chevys up here. And Cindric's up here due to pit strategy, but my goodness. All these Toyotas, even the garbage Toyota tier, like teams. Herbst, you know, he's not the greatest, or wasn't until about 10 weeks into this season. He started randomly actually running in the top 10. And then the legacy guys, no speed. And then suddenly, last few weeks, actually running up in the top 10. I could totally see Eric Jones winning one if they keep running this well. I believe in Eric Jones. I think he's a really good driver. Could be Darlington. Could be the Southern 500. So if you're a Toyota fan, if you're a fan of Gibbs and the 2311's Alliance, you are in heaven right now. A lot of Toyota performance up here, with Chevy and Ford still playing second fiddle. Let's see if we have any other replays or things to add. No, not really. They have a slight like, we can go ahead and show this while we're under side-by-side coverage. That's Todd Gilliland going around. This is on board with Bell. So Todd losing a lot of position there, and it doesn't seem like that damaged Bell's front end too much. If these were the old sheet metal bodies, Bell's day would probably be about over right now in terms of running competitively. I mean, I gotta go see this Minions movie. That's neither here nor there. Who got turned around? So that was on pit road. Let me pull that back up for you, Mike. So this is exactly what happened there. Gilliland was going into his box. This was on the last pit cycle, so about 20 minutes ago now. But on the last pit cycle, Bell was he had already completed his stop. He was leaving his pit box. Either Sparta didn't call it out, Bell just didn't see it. He goes to leave his box while Gilliland's coming in, and that leaves Gilliland backwards in his box, and he was on the line. You know, typically if you get turned around in your box, the team will still complete the pit stop, just in reverse order. They were not able to do that here because the car ended up sitting right on the white line. So if they pit the car when they did, it would have been a penalty. But they ended up losing a lot of track position there. Bell lost a little bit, but no harm, no foul there. Been a few incidents today, Mike, if you're just catching up. SVG took out Austin Hill. That's what brought out the caution before this. Pretty hard contact there. And then Zane Smith trying to take out Carson Hocevar. They both end up in the outside wall. That was the caution prior. And then the first caution of the day was on lap 1. Big stack up here. Priest getting turned by Eric Jones. Eric Jones down the track. Zilich trying to avoid it. Ends up getting into the inside wall and pretty much ending his day. So really disappointing there for Zilich. That's a quick recap of what's been going on so far during today's race. Good to have you here, Mike. How's Chase running? Chase, due to how people pit that last stop, they were a bit further back on the restart. And, you know, the further back you get, the dirtier the air is. I think they have 10th place cars. Chase doesn't seem to be on the level of Larson and Byron, but I think he maybe has a 10th place car. We just have to see how this shakes out and how their cars handle the changing track as it starts to cool down and as we transition into the nighttime period of this race. But yeah, both these guys, they got trapped a bit further back. Weren't able to cut through the field like Denny was and like Busher was. But they did make up some ground. A lot of this will depend on the restart. Bowman's been losing a lot of ground on the restart in comparison to a lot of the rest of the field. He'll lose a few spots, spins the rest of that run, gaining them back. Then we get another caution, loses more spots on a restart. So it's been an up and down day for Bowman. Yeah, I think these guys have a little more pace in their cars than they're showing. Chase is the best lap of 31.0, and that's in traffic, so not too bad. Ahead of him, we have a 31.2, 31.2 pretty much. So we have some slower cars ahead of Chase still. 31.1. And Priest now only scored 2 laps down, but JJ Yaley is now scored a lap down. Not sure if this is accurate, but if it is, that's going to really hurt Ryan Priest, because Ryan would have been able to get the next lucky dog whenever that is, and then the next stage break, he would have had both of his laps back. But, you know, just still trying to claw back from that early lap 1 spin off the nose of Eric Jones. Maybe Priest can come back. Mike says hopefully they can get better. Last night he had a good car, but it was a different one. That's right. Good looking 88 car. And Chase probably should have won that one. If we didn't have that really late race caution, I think Jesse Love was going to win it. And they cost each other the win. Chase and Jesse ran side by side. That brought Eric Jones back, or Brandon Jones back into the equation. And Brandon ended up taking the win. Yeah, I think the track's going to change quite a bit here. We already have some shade over 3 and 4. A lot of cars coming down pit road here. Pretty much everybody. Only a few cars staying out here on this first lap. But yeah, I'm thinking the track's going to change up quite a bit, so I'm really interested to see what's going to happen once these guys start. Having to adjust for it. You know, some guys might lose the handle, some guys might get too tight. So Byron with the stage win, and he's also going to get off pit road first. Larson going to lose a spot on pit road. Herp's going to lose a couple spots there on pit road. All right, so I guess that was just an error by the scoring, but Priest now scored the only car a lap down that's still on track. That's really good for Ryan Priest. If we get a caution here on the restart, that would only put him 1 down. He's in a really good place here. And regardless, they could still probably take the wave around on the next caution if someone does go a lap down, and then maybe get their lap back at the stage break. So Priest is looking pretty good. Looking like he might get all of his laps back here before the end of the race. And I could see Priest still finishing top 20, given the right set of circumstances. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you're hoping for a caution to fall, and other times you're praying that the green flag stays out. And usually it's what you don't want to happen that ends up happening. But on occasion, you know, you'll get lucky. Now, who has the fastest lap right now? Where is Larson? This running order is really scrambled right now due to pit stop. So 5.27 for Larson still, and Byron with a 5.36. So I think Larson still has the fastest lap of the race. Jason says Trisha's making dinner. You can smell it from the living room. Breaded fish fillets, baked beans, and mac and cheese. That's a good dinner. That's a good dinner. I think I'm going to have a sub sandwich. I have one in the fridge. I almost ate it last night, and I was like, I'll wait for tomorrow. I don't need it tonight. I had a hot dog at the ball game I went to. So as of right now, either Cole Custer and Cody Ware have not yet pit, or they stayed out. I'm not sure what's going on yet. We'll wait one more lap and see if this updates. They may have just waited an extra lap to hit the pits, but as of right now, they're leading the race. There we go. There we go. There's the update. So Chase Elliott up to 12th on the pit cycle. Alex Bowman up one spot to 15th. And Cindric, a really good call there to stay out on the last run on old tires. He was able to continue to get stage points, and also he's going to restart here inside the top 5. I do not have any Ty Gibbs juice. I have no Monster Energy. I haven't bought a pack in a while, actually. And I only had one this whole last week. I think I had one on Tuesday, and that was it. I've really been cutting back on sugar and caffeine lately. That's another reason why I have the Diet Coke over the traditional Dr. Pepper that I prefer, but Diet Coke's good enough. I also have a water. You have the Shane Van Guggenheimer juice. I don't know where Austin Hill pulled that from, but what's his name? Guggenheimer? So you have a teammate behind Byron and Buescher behind Wallace. Byron on the inside, Wallace on the outside. That Space Jam car on the front row here. I think if they make that die cast, it will be a very popular one. A lot of good-looking cars in tonight's race. So Byron on the restart, able to get the lead. Larson and Wallace side by side. Wallace going to have a little advantage on the exit of 2. Larson going to side draft here down the backstretch. Larson and Wallace still side by side through 3 and 4. Going to clear there. So Bubba going to maintain second. Larson clear to third. Buescher and Hamlin still side by side. Hamlin with the advantage there. Buescher fighting back. Hamlin probably going to come up and side draft here and then dive it into 3. All right, we stay green so far. You always have to hold your breath on these Gen 7 restarts. They get crazy. Bubba's going up here to make the pass. Really good fire-off speed for this 23 car. We haven't seen Bubba up here with clean air yet. Bubba might have the best car out there right now. Bubba to the lead. I don't know if the 24 adjusted on that last pit stop to try to keep up with the track, but maybe they made the wrong adjustment, slowed him down. Seems like Larson may be able to make the pass here on Byron. We'll see. Where's Marco? That's a good question. That's a good question. It is really late for him, or really early. So he just may have not been able to stay up today. Because for him, it's probably like 1 or 2. Oh, no. Oh, no. Larson around. He's going to keep it clean, but that's going to bring out a caution. Lap 93. That car still looks pretty clean, but can he get it unstuck? Nope. He's stuck in the wet grass. Larson's going to lose some laps here. Yeah, it's definitely bad for Byron. Byron's losing a teammate up there. Now he's going to be surrounded by Toyotas. Larson's asking for a push, not a tow. If the crew can get him out, he can get this thing back and maybe only lose a lap. That's directly going to help out Ryan Preece, though. Ryan Preece probably only going to be scored 1 lap down now. Look at it. With the pull hook, they were able to get Larson's car freed. Not bad. Off the grass, off the grass. Get him off the grass. There we go. Now they need the air pump. So Larson, yeah, he's definitely going to lose some laps here. The left sides are down. So Larson may not be running the air suspension system. He does not have the lift system. Larson should just cut this thing to the left, take the penalty, and go down pit road the wrong way. Well, that's... It may not be a day ender, but that's definitely not a day helper. I think that Hendrick patriotic scheme this year might be cursed. I guess their best run was probably Elliott last night. I think that was the best that scheme and car has run. Just slowly came around on him. Let's see if we have a replay for you guys. So Larson self-spinning there. Kept it clean. I didn't see the tires down yet. And but those left sides were down, and because of all the rain they've gotten in the area, they did end up getting stuck here. Jason says, for dessert tonight, you're having cinnamon bun Oreos. Interesting. It's some Hawaiian rolls with honey cinnamon butter in them. That sounds good. Sounds really good. Hawaiian rolls by themselves are good, so with anything else added to it, I'm sure it's really good. So now Larson's going to be in the position that Priest was in, but with less time to regain his laps. Really looking this car over. They're going to have to tape that hook, that tow hook back up. And we don't know what kind of damage the underbody received there, or what damage the splitter might have received getting pushed around the track. A lot of cars staying out here. Looks like Allmendinger may be the first one coming down. Yeah, a few cars further back in the very back of the pack coming down pit road, but most opting to stay out here. Let's get our leaderboard pulled back up. So, looks like Bubba Wallace now with our Xfinity fastest lap. The pace of the race has definitely picked up a bit. A lot of the track is in shade now. Track cooling off, grip increasing. So, Ryan Preece currently scored on the lead lap. Larson, the only car a lap down here, currently scored 2 laps down. This should update in a bit. But he may go a 3rd lap down. Actually, he's back on pit road. They're looking at the splitter right now. Going ahead and topping it off with fuel. If they can escape this, only going 2 laps down, it would be a massive win for Larson. And given the cautions falling at the right places, like Preece, he could end up back in the top 20 pretty easily. That's funny, Jason. Larson did run a 30.3, so he was running pretty fast laps as well. But just not able to handle it there. So maybe got back into the gas a little too early. A little too much wheel input. It's hard to say exactly what upset that car, but it just slowly came around and he wasn't able to save it. But as we see, as the field is set now, Chase Elliott back inside the top 10 and Bowman up to 12th. So Byron might have lost a teammate, but he has 2 trying to work their way back up through the field. Cindric, the big loser there on that restart, down 3 spots. Suarez back inside the top 20. Might be his first appearance in the top 20 today. Austin Dillon randomly up here in 15. All right, what I'm going to be very interested to see here. Ryan Preece, stuck in the back of the pack. What can Mr. Preece do? Not really sure we're going to get a good read on Larson's car here. he's just going to be praying for a caution. If you can get a caution maybe in the next, let's say 20 laps, we get another caution, no one goes a lap down, then Larson would get a free pass. And then at the end of the stage, you might get another one back. So, oh, we are 3 wide. We have cars all over the track here. We could get another caution here very shortly. Almost 4 wide there. So Bubba able to get a pretty good restart. Looks like he's going to go back to the lead. Byron back into second. Byron's really been trying to make that outside line work early in the runs, and it just doesn't have the pace yet. Let's scroll back up. Bell, what happened to Bell? Let's see where he is. I mean, nothing really happened to Bell. He may have been one of the cars that came down to pit there on that stop. I'm not sure. Yeah, nothing actually happened to Bell. Like, maybe there was a, had something unspectacular happen that caused him to come back down pit road. The biggest thing that's happened to Bell so far in this race, and this isn't why he's back where he is he spun Todd Gilliland on pit road, but that didn't do any damage to the right front. No visible damage. Yeah, I mean, Bell had a really fast car, so I'm not sure why they're so far back right now. They may have just came down for strategy. But his fastest lap is under a 31 seconds, so he's faster than, everybody above him up to 11th. And even some of the guys inside the top 10, he's faster. Plenty of pace in that car. Yeah, I didn't see anything noticeable, like wrecking or anything. All right, we'll see you here in a minute, Jason. Good to see you. Ronald, we'll keep checking in on Bell. Up another spot there. I'm also interested to see what Priest is going to do here now that he's back on the lead lap. A lot of guys having to work their way back off of penalties and, mistakes on track. Bowman in the top 10 here. I think for the first time today. 8th right here. And Chase Elliott in 7th. Byron holding on to second place. Buescher right behind him. Top 3, 1 car from each manufacturer. And then we have a nest of Toyotas all around them. And look at this. Mr. Where did he come from? Corey Heim, 13th. Where's Priest? Priest is way back here. 33rd right now. I'm not sure if they just missed the setup on that car or what's going on, but Priest is officially on the lead lap now, so I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see him work his way up. Larson is 2 laps down, so our leaderboard's a bit off for some reason. That'll probably fix itself here in a few laps. Unless the broadcast leaderboard is wrong. Larson not really running killer laps back here, 31.8. Be interesting to me to see if Heim's able to stay up here, hold his position. Oh, wow. Denny losing some spots here. Chase Elliott and Bowman going around, and Bowman is looking to pass Chase Elliott. Chase is going to get a better run off of the corner, so Bowman's going to tuck in behind Chase. Looks like they're going to work together here a bit. Bowman continuing to move up through the field. So move Chase Elliott. I thought they got by Hamlin. They got by Reddick. So move Chase Elliott into 6th. And temporarily Bowman into 7th. Reddick has now gotten back by Bowman. Bowman not able to follow Chase Elliott through the field here. So Reddick may have just missed a corner or something. Temporarily upset the car. Bell once again making a pass, actually on TV here. Let's see if they mention why he's back there. So they're saying there was damage from the contact on pit road. It's not visible, so it must be internal. Adam Stevens a little upset there. That's crazy. The contact wasn't that hard. Letarte mentioned that it could have done internal damage, but just visibly, it doesn't look that major. I mean, you can't see any dents or anything. So I guess it was the damage that got Bell so far behind. He is passing his way back up through the field right now, fighting for a 22nd position. So up another spot. I didn't think the damage was that serious, but I guess I just looked away for a minute, and there he is, fighting for his life. Briscoe trying to make the pass on Buescher here. Still a couple car lengths back. Not close enough to challenge, but that is the closest battle up inside the top 5. The next closest, Gibbs making the pass on Bowman right now. Bowman falling back a bit after almost getting by Elliott. Very temporarily had top 5 pace, and then it went away. Bubba seems to be Mr. Clean Air. Everyone's Mr. Clean Air. You know, whenever William Byron leads like 280 laps out of a 300 lap race, you know, suddenly he's Mr. Clean Air. Everyone receives these allegations. Yeah, Bubba's making use of it, though. Still running pretty fast laps. Denny has the fastest car on track that last lap by. Denny might actually get by Buescher here if Buescher's not able to pick up the pace. Looks like Buescher's falling back a bit. And maybe the battle with Briscoe slowed them both up enough for Denny to get up there and fight. Pretty long run here. Kyle 2 laps back. Yaley is about to go a lap down, so unless we get a caution in the next 10 laps, Larson's probably not going to be eligible for the free pass here. He's hoping for a caution very, very soon. And Priest also not gaining ground. I mean, I guess they just horribly missed the setup, or maybe they damaged the underbody, because Larson's also running off the pace. Maybe this track being old enough, being aged enough, getting sideways. Larson's going to need some help here. Yeah, Chicagoland and Kansas, pretty similar. Chicagoland's a bit different in how it's shaped. The backstretch constantly curving. It doesn't really have a back straight as far as one very long continuous curve. Why is Logano so far back? They just messed the setup today completely. I mean, horrible qualifying effort, and you know, apparently they haven't been able to find speed in that car. But even Blaney, who was up near the top 10, maybe even inside the top 10 at one point in the race, has just fallen back. So Penske as a whole really struggling here. Cindric only losing a couple spots in that last restart. But if Cindric is your best Penske driver, something's going wrong Something is going very wrong with that organization right now. Austin Dillon's still top 15. Briscoe about to make the pass here on Byron. Byron's probably about to drop back to 4th. But they're all running down Bubba Wallace. Bubba's kind of falling off here. Denny Hamlin's still running the fastest laps on track right now. Briscoe to the inside of Byron here. Briscoe having to back out of it. Can he get up the track to side draft? No, he cannot. Then he's going to grab the lead here very shortly. Everyone's faster than Bubba right now at the front of the track. They're running Bubba down. But it's 3 Toyotas versus 1 Chevy. They're not going to cut Byron any slack. And, you know, he doesn't deserve any right now. Got to run your own race. But all of the top 4 are outrunning 5th and back. It's about a 3.5 second gap back to Chase Elliott. So Briscoe's going to probably make the pass here going into 3. Byron almost lost it. He's running a similar line to what Larson ran earlier. Can he hold on to it? Not able to make the pass there. But this is slowing both of them down. And Denny's getting closer and closer. So Briscoe into 3rd. Briscoe from 3rd into 2nd. Move Byron to 3rd. And Hamlin to the inside of Byron. And try to make the pass here into 3. So now Hamlin into 3rd. Byron back to 4th. So we have a Toyota top 3. Briscoe ran 4/10 faster than Bubba that last lap. Briscoe probably going to get by Bubba here in the next lap or 2. And then Hamlin will have an opportunity. Hamlin might win this stage. I don't know. I think we might have green flag stops here. This is a pretty long run on these tires. Everyone's running about 1.5 seconds off the pace here. Briscoe trying to hold them off. They're 3 wide at the front. Briscoe was not able to clear. 3 wide for the lead. Briscoe best momentum, but he's going to need a little side draft there from Bubba. That's going to slow Briscoe down and help out Denny Hamlin. So side by side in the corner, Bubba's backed out of it. Briscoe, really good run here out of 3 and 4. So Briscoe to the lead, maybe temporarily. We'll see what he can do with this clean air. Denny has had the fastest car on track the last several laps. I think Denny has the best car on track right now. But Briscoe currently has track position. Gonna drive it down across the nose of Denny Hamlin's car there and back on exit as well. How long can Briscoe hold off Denny? Briscoe's gonna give him some clean air there. Cindric down pit road. So green flag pit stops may be starting here. And yeah, Kyle Larson right now trapped. His day's pretty much over. Ryan Preece recovering to 30th. Bell up to 18th. And he's about to challenge for 17th most likely. Running a bit slower than Allmendinger. It may not be that easy of a pass. Chase Elliott down pit road, trying to short pit this. See if they can gain some track position or at least some time to the leaders. Tyler Reddick down as well. Busher, Dillon, McDowell, Byron, Gibbs, all down pit road. Busher looks like loose wheel. They're having to jack it up again. That's going to lose Busher some time. Welcome back, Jason. Ronald says Chase is fast, but Denny is going to win. Yeah, Denny fell off there for a little bit, but now that he's back up front, looks like the Chevys didn't keep up with the track. Larson lost it. You know, that's how that went. Right now, Hamlin looks like the strongest car out there. Bell may run long here to try to catch a caution. I would not be shocked to see that. Corey Heim down pit road. Jason said he ate half of his food. Didn't try the new Buddy Armor flavor sour melon blast. Dude, perfect flavor. I have not. I almost always get the orange mango, but then if I don't get that, I get strawberry banana. I don't think I've had any other Body Armor flavors but those two. It's really hydrating stuff, though. I like it better than Gatorade for the hydrating quality. I still drink my fair share of Gatorade. And Denny Hamlin down pit road here. So Blaney, if he stays out, Blaney will assume the lead. Briscoe might retake the lead here, but Hamlin's usually really smooth on pit road unless he gets a penalty. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Hamlin hold it. But Briscoe's going to have a bit of an advantage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, fluid out of the front of Tyler Reddick's car. He's saying lost oil pressure. Oh my goodness. And now they're going to track this fluid through several pit boxes. And down pit road. Maybe it's not leaking much, but... Yep, it will bring out... Oh, yeah. Caution. That's going to shake things up here a bit. Now, Byron and Briscoe are going to cycle back to the lead more than likely. But that takes Tyler Reddick out of the equation completely. They're very lucky, or Denny's very lucky, they didn't throw that caution a lap or two earlier. Because Denny would have been still out on track. He would have had to pit, and he would have lost a ton of track position. But now, because of where it fell, Byron's going to cycle to the lead, but he will have 3 Toyotas behind him, and then chase Elliott. Bowman not too far back. So we have Byron, Briscoe, Wallace, Hamlin, Elliott, Gibbs, Cindric, Bowman. So Bowman right now, technically P8. King, you weren't looking at what I was looking at. What I was thinking is maybe everything had leaked out when they were showing it from the side and they were pushing it backwards. I couldn't see anything trailing behind. Then they showed the front camera of it gushing oil. All right. All right. That's not revisionist history. That's what happened. From that side shot, I couldn't see a big trail of oil. I was thinking maybe it already all came out on the track and in his pit box. Yeah, yeah. You're the biggest hater. You come in here just to stir the pot sometimes. Let me warn you guys, if you ever see him come in and give the worst opinion of all time, he's not being serious. He's just rage baiting. He thinks he's a gold level rage baiter. No. You'll never be the level of rage baiter that Deaver is. White Boy's live right now. Hopefully he stays live for a few hours. Oh, you just have the wrong opinion about Culver's. Culver's is good. I like their burgers. I like their custard. The cheese curds. The fries are all right. Better than, you know, like a bad fry, that's for sure. And then I like the chicken tenders. It's good stuff. Is there a such thing as too much butter? Let's be realistic. Let's be proper Americans here. We love the butter. Man, I'll even go for margarine. I know it's not the real thing, but margarine's pretty good. Pretty good. G Dangerous said just when he got hopeful. Yes, very disappointing there for Reddick. Larson might have taken the wave around there. I'm not sure what their plan is here. A lot of guys are being shown a lap down. I'm not sure that if that's due to where they pit. So I'm sure a lot of guys are going to take the wave around here if Blaney... I'm not sure what their plan is here. If they stay out, these guys can't take the wave around. They're going to be stuck a lap down, and this directly impacts Kyle Larson. So if you're hoping for Larson to get his laps back, they are in trouble here. But if you think about it, if you're Blaney, if you're any of these guys that decided not to pit, so J.G. Haley up, it's a really smart move not to pit there, because the furthest you can fall back now is, what, 16th? Because John Hunter Nemechek is a lap down in 17th. So it's a lot of upside and not a lot of downside to stay out here and try to make it to the end of the stage. Culver's, yeah. Yeah, Whiteboy 7th Street, yeah. I watch him every week. Yeah, he was in a Mr. Beast video. He made it halfway through the challenges, and then he got eliminated in a team deal. His team let him down, got eliminated. I think if he had made it through to the very next round, he probably would have made it to like the final 10. Really disappointing. Usually when White Boy goes on a game show or something, he wins. Done it multiple times. But it was really cool to see Mr. Beast pay homage, pay his respect to the YouTubers that came before him. Yeah, White Boy, he still goes live on YouTube at least once a week, sometimes multiple times a week. And he'll probably be live a bunch once Black Ops 1 comes back out on PlayStation. Yeah, White Boy's my boy. Glad to know you know who that is, Double A. You know ball. Yeah, if Culver's wants to send me some food, like, yeah. Man, I'll go live from Culver's. They just set me up with some internet. Oh, yeah. I'll have some beeping and booping and crying children in the background. It'll be awesome. Stage 1, I'll eat a burger. Stage 2, I'll eat a burger. Stage 3, I'll eat a burger. Post-race, I'll eat a burger. Burger after burger after burger. Good stuff. Host of our 29th. Yeah, not a good day for host of our. It seems like anyone that's had issues today hasn't had a good time coming back. I think it's just the track is bumpy. It's rough. It's old. And so if you get sideways in these cars, you have any flat tires at all, you drag that underbody and it just ruins your speed. Priest hasn't been able to come back. Neither Zane Smith nor Hocevar has come back from their issues. Larson was up there in the top 5 and he didn't even have decent pace. And we saw like that body didn't have damage, but it's what we can't see. That underbody. That's really unfortunate for all the teams that had their pit boxes coated in oil. They're still working on Reddick's car, trying to get him back out there. So they're going to zoom in here on this camera shot and show the front end of Reddick's car. When they showed the I guess the grill, the fake grill, you can just see tons of oil coming out of the front left of that car. First COD channel I ever watched was Sea Nanners. One of the OGs. You're glad this happened to Reddick? It would have been better for the pack if it happened to Hamlin. The race would have stayed competitive, but I don't know. It would have been interesting if Reddick got it done today. Take the fight back to Hamlin. So Blaney is coming down. Bell's coming back down. They don't really have a choice not to. They're going to lose a ton of track position here. G Danger says he absolutely hates Hamlin. I'm guessing he was about to say with every fiber of his being. So did anyone stay out here? Did Yaley stay out? If Yaley stayed out, that's hilarious because that would keep everyone behind him trapped a lap down. Yeah, I mean, he's still on track. The four's still on. Yeah, so there's still a few cars ahead of Byron. I'm not sure if this is like going to be the set running order. I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to have to wave around. Bonding over a hatred of Hamlin. Now, when Denny Hamlin fan comes in here, we have to act like everything's cool. We can't we can't hate on him. Let's see if we have a replay there. It wouldn't be the most entertaining thing, but just to see what happened to Reddick. No replay of what happened to Reddick here. Let's go to TNT's page. Nothing here either. That's all right. Good follow TNT Sports. All right, I'm gonna step away. And you have to boo him. No, do not boo Hamlin fan. He's a nice guy. Even if I'm not the biggest Denny Hamlin fan, I really respect the fact he's performing so well this late in his career. Not many drivers can do that. Hamlin fan, we were just talking about you. Welcome, Hamlin fan. Missed the restart there. Look at Blaney up there in the top 10. 6th position now. It's the best he's been all day. But Bowman, 3 wide, is actually going to take the position here. And Bell's back in the top 10. Welcome back, Bell. I know Mike will be happy. I went out and got some peanut butter. Yeah, they got very close to wrecking. That was close. I think that oil caution, that cleanup, delayed the race just long enough to help us get into the nighttime part of this race. Oh! The 20 almost lost it there, Bell. 34. Todd Gilliland gonna follow Bowman through. Bowman's got to stabilize here. Gilliland has some pace. Bubba. Good job saving it there. Almost got away from him. With how fast the steering is in these cars, it's hard to save one. Plus the smaller sidewalls on the tires. It's rough. Yeah, it's been a rough time, but at least Reddick's still second in points. And he's safe where he is, second in points. The person I feel the worst for, the fan group I feel the worst for, just in the last few weeks, is maybe Zane Smith could be in that stretch, or in that group, but I would say Brad Keselowski. They had top 10 in points kind of finishes going, where they looked like they were going to be safe to the chase. And the last, 6 weeks, that team has fallen apart completely. It was a good day. Good day. Well, that sounds like a busy time, Jason. Let me go ahead and pull up our leaderboard. I still have the Twitter page up. I was trying to look at the points, and they took them away before I could read everything I wanted to. So Byron's still with the lead. 14 to go. That's plenty of time for Briscoe or Hamlin to run him down. Chase Elliott into the top 5. Right now, trying to stay ahead of Ty Gibbs. I had a pretty good run down the front stretch there. Gonna be able to side draft down the backstretch. Ty Gibbs might make the pass here. Is able to clear. Chase not able to stay alongside of him. Yeah, Zilich. I considered talking about Zilich, but Zilich, he's had a bad season all year. Whereas Zilich has had a bad season all year. Brad started out well, and just the last few weeks it's fallen apart. So it's gotten worse for them, and they went from being safe to making the chase to now they are in danger of not making it. And they're currently on the outside looking in. And right now, Priest is the last car in the chase. If Brad ends up making the chase, he might eliminate one of his drivers. That's like lose-lose either way. I don't know, Hamlin fan. That's a good question. Time needs another win. It seemed like early on they didn't have the car, but when they were up there running just outside the top 10, they were running competitive enough lap times to stay around there. I just don't know if they have winning equipment today in that 67 car. Maybe once it switches more towards nighttime, track cools down a bit more, maybe it comes around his way, but it hasn't so far. Buescher trying to recover from sliding, or from almost leaving pit road with a loose wheel. They came back in and got it fastened on, but that lost him a lot of track, or a lot of track positions, a lot of time on track during that green flag cycle. Because Buescher has had a top 10, around top 5 car most of the day. Cindric, pretty impressive what they did. A gamble there in stage 1, it worked out. And they haven't lost that much track position since. Joey trying to fight his way back into the top 20. Not able to clear Chastain there. All right, Hamlin fan, we'll see you. Diltz is just having a rough rookie season. Hope he can do better next season. We will see. Sometimes it takes a few years to adapt to this Gen 7 car, and some drivers just never do. So Reddick back out on track. They're showing his car on the broadcast now. Let's go ahead and scroll back through and see what we can see. Larson's still 2 laps down. Yaley's probably about to go a lap down, but he's going to get one back here, most likely. Lucky Dog coming up shortly. Reddick currently scored 29 down, but he's back out on track and running good lap times. I mean, obviously, he's not going to get all of his laps back. But Larson is running way off the pace. I mean, my goodness. That's one reason the underbody on these cars is such a ridiculous concept. You can't even get sideways now without damaging your car. Like, the body can be spotless, but the underbody, the parts we can't see, just destroy your day. Suddenly you lose a lot of that downforce, not able to make lap times. What happened to Reddick? They said it was an oil leak. I'm not sure what the exact issue was. Maybe something with the oil cooler lines detached somewhere. I'm not sure. But he dropped oil all over the track, all down pit road. Had to go into the garage, and they were able to make repairs and get it back out there. And he's running faster than a lot of the field still. But they're just so far behind. There's nowhere they can go. Last lap of stage 2. Briscoe going to have a really good run here. Not going to be able to make it. Briscoe hit that dirty air. Had to back out of it last second. Byron going to take stage 2. Sweeping the stages, William Byron. I think today might be a traditional Byron race where he leads most of it and then loses it on the last run to, like, Denny Hamlin. Gonna be rough. Gonna be rough. All right. I don't think they have any more highlights to show, but let's go ahead and just do a quick recap. We'll start with lap 1. If you guys got in here late, get up to speed. Beginning of the race, Denny Hamlin leads them off. Larson alongside. And coming off of 2, we see a big stack up here. And Priest gets turned by Eric Jones. Zillage trying to avoid, ends up collecting the inside wall. Priest able to continue and has his laps back now, but not able to make up any track position. That was the start of our race. That was lap 1. And then Zane Smith tried to take out Carson Hocevar, but ended up putting himself on the wall as well. Both guys were able to continue with minimal damage. And then SVG takes out Austin Hill. Take me out at a road course, I'll take you out at an oval. An eye for an eye there. I don't know if it was payback, but I'm sure it had something to do with it. Just moved him out of the way. Pretty big impact there for Austin Hill. And then on that caution, or during that caution, Todd's trying to come in his box. Bell's trying to leave his box. The two end up coming together. Bell's crew should have warned him. And I think Adam Stevens took responsibility for this incident. Should have warned him that a car was coming in, held him at, just a millisecond. And they could have timed this perfectly. But they come together, and apparently this contact, even though you don't see any damage on the car, it affected it enough. Maybe internally, maybe ductwork. Hard to say, because I didn't see any damage. The broadcast didn't see any damage. But Bell had to come down pit road multiple times to get repairs. He's having to work that work on that car over the course of multiple stops. Lost a bunch of track position. Just recently gained it back. We'll see if they're able to actually run up there with the leaders once more, because this car did have top 10 at minimum pace, potentially top 5 pace. I know he was several people's pick to win today. And then our last caution for major incident. Kyle Larson just self-spinning here. Cuts down some tires during the spin and gets stuck in the grass, needs a push, has to drive the car all the way around the track, potentially damaging the underbody and ruining that car's day. So he was in 3rd place when this happened. Just lost the car, came around on him. And even though that car's still running, not a lot of body damage, the underbody seems to be pretty messed up because that car is just not making time. Way off the pace. And then after this, we don't have a replay of it, but Reddick ended up dropping oil all around the track, down pit road. They had to throw the caution flag. So we should have pit stops coming up here. I think we may see some guys stay out, some guys further back, but I believe most of the field will probably pit here. Looks like Larson's going to potentially either get a free pass here. I got probably a free pass. There goes Larson around the pace car. And Reddick, I guess he might be taking a wave around. I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, that's just a typical Larson spin. I mean, how many times have we seen him self-spin from the lead or fighting for the lead? Seen that a lot from Larson in this Gen 7 car. So Larson will get a lap back here. I think he may be the only car 1 lap down. So if we get another quick caution here, Larson can get his lap back, but he will still have that underbody damage, so I don't think it's going to help him too much. There he is, now scored 1 lap down. So good for Larson to get that lap back, but it hasn't helped too much. Where's Priest currently scored at? Not sure what this will update to, but Ryan Priest scored 7th. He was having to make his laps back up earlier. I'm just waiting on this leaderboard to update for an accurate running order. I don't think that Hendrick patriotic car was meant to finish well. I think Corey Day crashed it, what, 3 times? Chase Elliott wasn't able to win in it yesterday. And Larson around today as well. Justin said he learned this from my Michael short. He can't believe Jimmy never won at Chicagoland in Cup. Yeah, it's kind of like Gordon never winning at Kentucky. And this is a beautiful leaderboard. We have Byron, and then we have 3 Toyotas behind him. Tough crowd to work with. Looks like Chase lost some ground on pit road there, with Byron restarting ahead of him. Or Bowman. I don't know if I said Byron. A lot of B names. Bell, Byron, Briscoe, Busher. Too much. Shane Van Guggenheimer not doing very well at this rate. I don't see him turning it around, you know. I also don't see him winning an oval. So SVG probably going to miss the chase. I know we can't officially call it yet, but within a couple weeks, he may be outside of the chase looking in once more. Oh, that's pretty wild, Jason. Jason Leffler for sure. I don't know. JJ Yaley's kind of the GOAT, though, so I may go with Yaley on that one. All right, Byron restarting up front. Little advantage here. Good connection there with Gibbs. He's going to be clear to the lead. Blaney jumping out to the high side. Bowman not able to slot into the high side. He's going to lose a little ground here potentially. Gonna dive it in really deep into 3. If he can make it stick and Blaney's not able to, Bowman's going to gain this spot. To move Bowman up to sixth place on the restart. And Suarez up inside the top 15. About the best he's been all day. Man, the Toyotas behind Byron are going at it. They might take each other out. Byron's got to keep this clean air, though. If he loses it, it's going to be really tough to not just fall outside the top 5. That's awesome, Jason. Bubba's running really fast. Winnie has that clean air. Wonder if his car could perform out well again, or if it's gotten away from him a bit. Really, any of those Toyotas have a shot to run well. The Legacy guys trapped a little further back. Buescher's still trying to recover from the pit road mistake. And around 13th is the best time's been. He just ran his fastest lap of the race. And Chase able to get back by Cindric on the restart. So Chase 9th, Bowman currently 8th. Bowman about 2.5 tenths behind Bubba Wallace, and Chase about a half a second back from Bowman. Hopefully she's able to get discharged here soon and move on to rehab. That can be a difficult process, but it's definitely a necessary one. Suarez trying to make a pass to the outside of Cindric. Cindric able to hold the position here for now. I think Bowen's having a hard time getting around Wallace. He's really close, just 2 tenths back. That's striking distance. Just not able to get the run necessary to pass. Briscoe's pretty fast right now. Even without clean air, he's still running similar lap times to Byron, which tells me that car's probably a little better. Now they're now showing the battle between the two purple cars. Bowman just can't quite get up there. And if he takes too long to make this pass, it's going to bring Chase Elliott into the equation. Really complicate things. Wish my dog would stop licking my hand. That is a good question. Hopefully enjoying the weekend still. I know some people were off Friday, due to the 4th being the next day. And some people are off Monday instead. All right, Briscoe's matching Byron. The balance is flipping. That's kind of what we've seen so far throughout this race, is Byron's able to hold on for a period of time, and then the balance fades in that 24 car, and the Toyotas are able to run him back down. The lap times are already falling off quite a bit. Should we get another caution? I think we're going to see the field come in here. Let's see what's going on at the back of the pack. Have Larson scored 2 laps down here. I'm not sure if that's accurate or if he's just 1 down now. Sometimes this is a bit slow to update. I thought he took the wave around there. Or got a free pass. Maybe I was mistaken. But he needs some more cautions here if he wants a chance to improve his position a little. I don't think we're going to see him jump back inside the top 20. I thought Priest might, but that hasn't happened. Bowman's still not able to make a move there on Bubba. They're all kind of sliding back about the same rate. That last lap by Briscoe was able to best Byron by a little bit. Keep that rate to keep that gap pretty close. Byron hasn't really stretched this much past 7/10. Where's Larson? Way back here, way back here. Mr. Irrelevant right now. Not able to recover from the underbody damage of having to drag the car around the track. You lose the underbody and there it goes. For sure, I think most of us try. Every once in a while, you get a crazy person in here. For sure, I think King said it. Said it really well. We're just returning your energy. You're always very nice. Even Zane Smith not able to recover. About the only one that's been able to improve their position since getting taken out is Hocevar, and he's not running the pace he had early in the race. Brad's car kind of fell off throughout the day. Rough. We're closing in on a third of the way through the final stage. Lap 27 of 102. We could see people split this into thirds. Maybe banking on a late caution, or we could see these guys run it a bit further. I'm not sure what their fuel window is. I'll try to figure that out. Let's see if we have that number anywhere. Fuel window 66 laps. So we are approaching the window. You might see the earliest green flag stop start in about 10 laps. Unless, you know, someone just banks on a caution. Yeah, Larson is only 1 lap down. So Larson really does need a caution right now before someone else gets lapped. JJ's about to go lap down. So if we got a quick caution, Larson would be the first car one lap down. If not, he's going to have to dig to work his way up to wherever JJ is running. That's a tall task. Byron keeping Briscoe at bay right now. The light switch hasn't completely flipped yet, but now Bell's making faster time than Briscoe. Could today be the Bell day to break the curse? All right, 72 to go. Closing in on that fuel window. 6 laps. We could see someone try to stretch it, so someone could come in any minute, or just banking on a caution. How late in this stage do you want to run? Do you want to finish the race on old tires potentially, or do you want to finish on tires a bit newer, but lose some ground in the short term? A lot of strategy here to play. Man, the sun is just crazy down the backstretch. Right in their eyes. It's like if you've ever driven on an east to west interstate. During the morning, you're driving east. You're just getting blinded. And then in the evening, you're driving west. And the sun is right in the middle of the road. My goodness. When I was driving out to Darlington, I got blinded driving on an eastbound interstate. The sun was rising. It's one of those massive sunrises where it's right on the horizon. Took up the whole road. I mean, could not see. Just praying nobody was stopped on the road in front of you. And even with sunglasses on, it was just blinding. Needed welding glasses. All right, Hamlin trying to make the pass on Bell. Here comes Hamlin running the fastest laps on track right now. Looks like the balance has flipped here. Woo! And it looks like, you know, we could get a caution at any moment. But if we were to get a long run, the person that plays best towards is Denny Hamlin. How many races have we seen Byron lose? Sweeping the stages or leading them overwhelmingly most laps just to lose it in the last stage, the last run. Got to be a bit nervous. I think Byron might try to run as long as he can here because we know he's fast on a bit faster on fresh tires and with clean air, but without it, you're kind of in trouble. All right, we're in our fuel window here. Who is going to force the issue? Jayski has the pit window set at 66 laps. You had the same thing happen to you driving to Iowa? Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. They should have slanted the interstates, not purely east-west. Just move it a few degrees north or south. That way you're not looking directly at the sun. I know it would drastically break the interstate system, but it would save our eyeballs. They should just take the whole interstate and put a roof on top of it. That's probably a great idea. I see no downsides. All right, Byron's gapped Briscoe a little bit on the last couple laps. Briscoe had an awful lap last time by. He'll probably recover here. My goodness, that's going to buy Byron some extra time. But Hamlin is coming. Oh, is Larson holding up Briscoe? Hey, good job, Larson. Good job, buddy. Hey, you're doing great. You're doing great. You heard me. I remember when Byron dominated the Coke 600 only to lose to Ross. He's dominated that. He's dominated Darlington twice. Lost it both times. Unfortunate. It's a very Byron way to lose a race, is to wait until the last bit of the race and then lose to either Denny or Joey Logano. All right, by the time we get back, I would not be shocked to see some cars down pit road. Heartbeat of America. If they're going to bring back the Heartbeat of America slogan, they should bring back the original song. You can look up some of their old commercials, Heartbeat of America. Every once in a while, I'll still see some license plates around town that still have that on there. The Heartbeat of America. Be a Tundra? All right, Briscoe, after getting by Larson finally, started cutting that gap back down again, but that bought Byron some extra time. Byron just can't, he can't afford to get undercut here. He has to be the guy that leads them down because he has that short run pace, and he's Captain Clean Air at the moment, so he can't really give that up. We're 45 laps into this stage. We're almost halfway through. So at this rate, if we were to stay green, Byron's looking decent. But that's 50 laps that Hamlin would have to try to run down Byron. Seems to me like Bell has gotten back by Hamlin. Interesting. Is the balance coming around for Bell? 31.9. Yeah, Bell now the second fastest car on track, I believe. Ty Gibbs ran the fastest lap that last time by. And Joey's in the 31 bracket, 31.9. So it seems like a lot of these guys are struggling with the balance right now. These are probably the oldest tires they've been on all day. So no one's really experienced quite this level of tire wear yet. I wouldn't mind a Bell win. You know, yeah, sure, it's another Toyota. It's another JGR car, but Bell's developed something of a haters club online, and just to tick those people off, I would be very okay with Bell winning. Very okay with it. Those are some very nasty people. Very nasty. Bell's such an inoffensive guy. And to find issue with him, I mean, you're really looking under a microscope. Right now, Bell's outrunning Hamlin for sure. Last lap by Hamlin was faster by a little bit. Hamlin got by him, then Bell repassed him. That was interesting. I was expecting Hamlin to continue running up through the pack. So it'll be really interesting to me to see if any of these teams make some adjustments on this last stop, whether it's a wedge or whether it's a tire pressure change. How much more do they expect the track to change? Because now it seems like the whole track is in the shade and the nighttime of the portion is quickly beginning. Briscoe's coming down now. I think Byron has to come this time. I think Byron has to come this time by. Briscoe's going to run maybe 2 seconds faster on this lap. Byron has to come down. All right, Byron on pit road. I think Briscoe's going to come out with the lead. Now we have to wait and see if there's going to be a caution. Sometimes there are cautions under these green flag cycles, and it ends up really affecting the running order of the field. We saw that happen a bit earlier in the race. William Byron complaining of being a bit free. Let's see if they fixed it. Briscoe's already coming back around the track. I think Briscoe's going to get it here. Here he comes. That 2 second advantage there. Byron not able to hold it. I was saying Byron wanted to be the first car down. He got jumped there. Now he's going to have to come from behind. He's been Captain Clean Air all day. Now without the clean air, can Byron get back up there before everyone makes their pit stops? Hamlin running long here. Interesting. Really banking on wanting to be the car on fresh tires that's attacking. But for now, he's playing defense. He let Briscoe by pretty easy. He's not opting to hold up Byron, though. Pretty respectful there. Making his stop. I'm not sure if he would have held up Byron, but Hamlin's down pit road currently. Bubba's staying out. Byron's got to get by Briscoe here. I don't know. Maybe Byron feels like on the long run he could actually do something with him. Briscoe was faster for a little bit once we got about 30 laps in, but then the balance flipped back. And at best, he was matching Byron. Right, Corey Heim currently scored as our leader. He's down pit road. My dog is making some strange sounds behind me. All right. Corey Heim off pit road. Todd Gilliland with the lead at the moment, but it's about to cycle around. Priest, last car on track. Looks like Priest may be coming down this time. Yeah, they were saying maybe it was a piece of debris that hit it. Want to come back by McDowell? Yeah, early race penalty. He hasn't pit yet, though. So this is going to be a short-lived recovery, I believe. Running 2 seconds off the pace our leaders are on. I just think that was a really, really bad call. I mean, obviously, Byron was trying to stay out as long as he could. That way he could have fresher tires towards the end of the race. But knowing what kind of car Byron had, he didn't need to lose the lead. I said he needed to be the first car down out of those leaders. And instead, they waited. They were the second car down. And at the time, they were running 2 seconds off of their fastest laps. And that was the difference. Briscoe got out there on fresh tires and made up just enough time to squeeze by Byron. All right. So the field is set. All we're waiting on now is to see if we're going to get a late race caution. We can make it to the end, but will these guys make it to the end? Usually no. And a late race restart would benefit Byron over the rest of these guys. But if it comes down just between Byron and Briscoe, Byron might be able to run him back down. I think there's going to be a point where Byron's car maybe falls off a bit, but then it may come back around right towards the end of this race. Maybe 10 laps to go, it might come back around. So if Byron can hold on, he may still have something for him at the end. But with 40 laps to go, it's pretty likely we get a caution. Jason says there's a place in Fort Wayne, Indiana that sells NASCAR diecast. I got a few diecast in Indiana at a big antique mall. I forget where exactly it was, but it was off the side of the interstate, I think south of Indianapolis. So Bowman's still running top 10. Good to see that. This might have been a day where all 10 Hendrick cars would, or all 4 Hendrick cars would have been in the top 10. But we will never know. Larson letting us down. trapped a lap down here, 2 laps down. Now, running a 31.2 at the moment. Better than most of the people ahead of him in, in close proximity. But definitely off the pace the rest of these guys are setting on equal tires. Or even older tires. So if you're Bell, if you're Hamlin, you have to hope that Briscoe can hold the lead, but continue to slow down off the pace. You're hoping that he can back up Byron and himself to bring you back into the conversation. It's like Denny's running faster right now, but he's 9.7 seconds back. Not a lot of time to get it done. Not a lot of time. I like this flea market in Muncie, old school diecast and other old NASCAR stuff. So a bunch of Jeff Gordon stuff there. Yeah, I've been through Muncie. Nice place. Very nice place. May have to check that out one day. What lap time is Bowman running? 31.1. Bowman's running the best laps on track right now. Late race restart. Bowman might have something for the leaders. I don't know. I don't think he has enough time to get up there and dice it up for the win, but Bowman's running 3/10 faster, at least that last lap, than Hamlin. And he was running a better lap than Bell. Gonna give up some time there, though. Oh, not bad, Jason. Not bad. So SVG only 24 points to the good right now. So by next week, SVG might drop out of the chase entirely. Let's look back through the field one more time. Hocevar back where he's been, really. Brad, still disappointing. Zane not able to recover either. And not a lot of surprises back here. I guess Byron, what? Byron was Larson's opponent, maybe? So Byron, I guess, will move on. Right now, Bowman's ahead of Cindric, Gilliland ahead of Hocevar, and they've been running that way for a while. Byron's got to start turning this around soon if he wants a chance to get up there. Or we need to start hoping for a late race caution. Speaking of weather, let's go ahead and just check the radar. Oh, it's completely cleared up. Since the heat has gone away, a lot of that system's died off that was sitting near the track. Ooh, the interval has shrank. Briscoe really sketchy there. He's going to have to go back and just get back in his rhythm. I think Briscoe's fallen off a bit. We may not want a late race caution. All right, it's kind of exactly how we thought it might play out. We don't know how it's going to end, though. I thought Briscoe might gain some time over him. Maybe the balance would flip back. That's what happened on the last run. It's looking similar for now. What happened in the last stage is it kind of went back in Byron's favor, where he would run a couple better laps. Then Briscoe would run a better. And so it depends on how consistent they can stay. And remember, I mean, the dirty air. It's going to be hard to pass. It may not take him out of it, but yeah, he had cut it down to about 7/10, and now it's back up to a second. So I think it might yo-yo a bit here. Start dirtying up the air for Byron, not letting him close in. That's back up to 1.1. So it's equalizing a bit here, back and going back in the way of the favor to Briscoe. Trying to choose my words. Let's see what happens. 5 laps from now, I want to see what the balance is looking like. That was a couple seconds back from Byron, but he's running about 0.3 quicker than Byron. It's just back and forth. These guys are really inconsistent right now. Byron will close in a bit. Briscoe runs a better one. Byron closes it, so it's back and forth. Really inconsistent up here towards the front. Bell once again faster, closing in a bit more. Only 2 seconds back from Byron. This all happened because Briscoe came down 1 lap sooner. I tried to warn them. Tried to say they need to be the first one down, and they were not. And we also just don't know what balance they're going to have here in even 10 laps. They were mentioning tires could cord. And this car flips like a light switch. You can have all the pace in the world, and the next lap, you're running a second off the pace because you're about to wreck. And we still don't know if we're going to make it green all the way. That's a huge if. That is a huge if. All right, that last lap by Bell not able to match. I thought I heard Dale Earnhardt yell for a second. Is that what happened? Yes, very back and forth between the two guys at the front. Briscoe is kind of fighting from a position of advantage. He has the lead. He has the clean air. He can do whatever he wants up there. You know, he can run his preferred groove, or he can run and dirty up the air for Byron, which it seems like he's doing a good job of. Byron cuts that gap down to around 9/10, and then suddenly it shoots back up to 1.1. Very back and forth here still. While Bell was able to cut the gap a bit more. If Byron is ever able to get up there and Briscoe's able to hold him off, that will bring Bell right into the conversation. Bell's only about a second and a half behind Byron now. The gap is really closing in. Less than a second and a half. Bell's almost just a second behind Byron now. Bell's closing in. If these two battle, Bell could be there. Can Bell's car hold out long enough? Right now, I mean, that last lap by, he was almost a half second faster than the leader and William Byron. I don't think there's quite enough time for Hamlin to get there, but this could fall into Bell's lap. It's looking like a JGR car, most likely, but we just have to see what happens here. Stupid eero. Bell's about to get by Byron at this rate. Only thing I can say Byron here, probably a caution. Byron's in trouble. Yeah, what a fight for Heim today. Running in the back for so long. Byron once again sweeping the stages, leading potentially the most laps of the race. And then right at the end, they lost it on pit road. That's all it was. Lost it on pit road. This would probably be Briscoe back here in second right now, fighting Bell. So Bell in the second. I think Earnhardt there meant to say Briscoe. I believe he said Bell. Even Bowman's been able to cut the gap to the leader. I believe he was 10 seconds back. Top 5 would be great for Bowman. Unk still got it. Another pit cycle, and Bowman Could have been up there. He seemed really fast on fresh tires. Car was passing well. Oh, Briscoe seemed a little upset there. I thought I saw the car bobble. I'm kind of hoping for a Bell win. If it's not going to be Byron or Bowman, then I would be very okay with a Bell win. I'd be okay with Briscoe, but Bell needs this one. Oh, Hamlin into the wall. Not Hamlin's day. Briscoe getting held up a bit here. Now Bell's going to have to deal with this. Ty Dillon, the new Ryan Newman. Almost called him Ryan Dillon. The gap's down to almost half a second. Does Bell have anything left in the tank? Imagine if Larson didn't wreck himself. He might be up there contending for this win. He was running similar to Byron early in the race. Guess we'll never know. This could have been all of HMS in the top 10. Elliott's just outside the top 10. Although he's 2 seconds back from Herbst. 4 laps to go. Brought to you by the Fantastic Four. See it in theaters last year. Bell's right there, but he's going to hit some dirty air here. Ty Dillon, he's like, I'm going to impact the outcome of this race. Let's do this. What's Chastain going to do? I was going to go a little lower here. Try to get some clean air, as clean as you can. Very dirty track. They're catching the lapped cars right at the worst possible time. Right at the end of the race. Briscoe up the track a bit. Only a few feet, but that's enough. Bell's there right on his bumper. He needs to get a bit of a draft here. What's Briscoe going to do? He just called Bell Briscoe. Earnhardt is struggling this late in the race. He is struggling. It's all these B names. Briscoe, Bell, Byron, Bowman, Buescher. White flag, 1 lap to go, brought to you by Credit One Bank. I don't think Bell has anywhere to go here. I think it's done. They caught the lapped cars. It's done. It's over. Briscoe has it. Frustrating. The lapped cars really affected the outcome of that race, but Briscoe's going to get it done. I need to make our post-race overlay. I might try to keep this one short. I should go early. Open. All right, ladies and gents, we're about to shift over to our post-race coverage. It should automatically ask you guys to transfer over there. If not, you'll see it go live on my channel right after this. So we're going to end this stream. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a fantastic stream. 81 of you guys in here right now. 8,000 total throughout the race. Maybe closer to 9,000 once it actually tallies up. But thank you guys for joining. What a great racetrack. I'm so glad we're back. They've already announced that it's coming back 2027, but we don't have the official NASCAR schedule. But the track is already selling tickets for next year. I hope they stick with it. It's been fantastic. I hope to see you guys over in the post-race. And until next time, don't die.